Once a year, you need to set aside some time to celebrate the most important day of your life. What is it? Let's dive in and find out. Ladies and gents, welcome back to Tampa Bay Diving, your resource for educational and entertaining content diving into all things scuba. The best holiday of the year deserves to be celebrated properly. It's not your birthday, your cat's birthday, your wedding anniversary, the birth of your children, Halloween, Thanksgiving, none of that. The one holiday that you always must make sure never to forget and celebrate is your diving anniversary. And stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to give you some helpful tips on how to plan some trips without breaking the bank, plus share what I'm doing this year to celebrate my most recent milestone. I believe that it is a big deal to celebrate your diving anniversary, the date when you became a certified open water diver, and the other milestones you hit along the way in proper fashion by doing either your favorite dive or some dive that you've been wanting to check off. Like one of our students, Ron, who came down from Chicago and traveled with me to 3 different dive sites to hit his 100th dive at the famous Devil's Den. It kind of just refreshes your spirit and ignites that passionate flame inside of you. It also allows you to take a look at where you're at currently and reflect back on the journey since you became certified and all of the progress that you've made. Especially if you're a diving professional like an instructor, dive master, or operator. The majority of a professional's time is consumed by getting students certified, and it can be a struggle to get those fun dives in. So it's a must to prevent that burnout. So how do you find that special dive? Well, if you're lucky enough to live on or near the coast, then you may have an abundance of options available at your disposal. For example, from Southern California on up through the Pacific Northwest, they have some fabulous diving, whether it be Rex, the kelp forest, Catalina Island, or giant octopus or migrating creatures such as whales. There's always something beautiful to see. And the creatures are pretty amazing. I will say though, watch out for the seals. They are a very curious and playful animal who love to grab a hold of fins in second stages, and that's coming from experience. If you're in Hawaii, then I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Sea turtles, sharks, manta rays, and some amazing reefs. Texas has the flower gardens off the coast of Houston and a pretty cool inland site called the Valhalla Missile Silo, which is a Cold War era missile silo which is now spring-fed and converted into kind of a giant dive tank. When I dove it, guys, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool, and I kind of felt like I was diving in a time machine. Florida, obviously, in my opinion, is the mecca of diving in the world. Literally, our coast is covered in wrecks, reefs, fish, and more springs than you'll ever be able to visit. I try to expose my students to as much of it as possible when they come down, and I'm always driving and diving in my spare time, but still, I'm not even close to checking them all off the list. From the beautiful Keys all the way up to the Panhandle, there's so much to dive, I don't think there's anyone who's dove everything. But even if you're inland, there are still options that you can make a very cool experience out of. For example, in Arkansas, there is Lake Ouachita, which is home to an underwater memorial to a local hero, fallen Navy SEAL 16 member, Chief Petty Officer Adam Brown. Down at the memorial, there are numerous items that divers have left to pay tribute to our brother, mostly challenge coins. I even left one of my coins that I received in the Navy down there, and if you find it, shoot me a pic and maybe I'll send you something special. But guys, there are literally so many tributes down there, but yeah, look for the one that has a quill and a lightning bolt. Don't touch them, but if you find it, just snap a pic with your GoPro or phone and shoot me an email. But each and every state has these little hidden treasures for you to experience. So what's the best way to go about booking these? Well, I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you have to travel a long distance, then your best bet is a travel agent. They have resources and knowledge to get you the best deals possible, and there's even agencies out there that specialize in water sports and recreation, such as scuba diving. If you want to find the best deals in Florida, then whether it be in the Keys or the northern part of the state, then the best times to book your trips for and get the best price is February through April and September through November. During these times, kids are back in school, parents are back at work, and the travel tourism is really slow so there are deals to be found. During the summer months, our highways, beaches, and parks are packed with tourists, and during the winter months, all of the snowbirds seem to make their way down here to escape the harsh winter conditions at their home. I can't say that I honestly blame them, but yeah, it's an inconvenience to deal with. Plus, all of the hotels, resorts, and operators know they're coming, and the rates go up during these times. And on that note, a bit of sad news. We will not be traveling to the DEMA show this year in Las Vegas. Not a knock or anything. I love that city, but it's a more expensive trip than the other shows. And I actually used to live in Los Angeles, so Vegas was a 4-hour drive from there. I've been there plenty of times. I love that city, but no. With the cost of flights, food, and transportation, it's just something that I didn't want to deal with. I've been meaning to make it down there to dive Lake Mead and see the bomber down there and all of the mining equipment. But I'll do that at another time when I can actually be there to focus on diving rather than running around booth to booth speaking with different manufacturers and reps. And that also falls during our peak times to dive here at home. By then, we'll be out of hurricane season and it will be less crowded, so it's just a great opportunity to get a bunch of dives in. I'll probably head down to the Keys, visit some friends, and get some great dives in. You know, all the things that locals do when it's slow. Right, so what milestone am I hitting and what am I doing to celebrate? Well, in May was my 19th year of diving. Wow, 19 years. Guys, it's been a crazy journey just to reflect back on how much the industry, equipment, and practices have changed. When I started diving, we didn't have e-learning, and I was still planning every single dive on paper versus doing so on my dive computer. The gear is better, more advanced, and even CPR has changed since then. I didn't get the chance to celebrate before because this summer has just been crazy busy with students booked back to back. I just couldn't make it away. And guys, if you want to take a course, please book it as early as possible. When I started this channel, I did so to provide entertaining and educational content, but it has taken off faster than I ever expected, and people have come from as far north as Canada, even down from Latin America to take courses. The calendar is really full, and I don't like to turn divers away, so if you know you're going to be in the area or want to take a course, just please book it as early as possible. So by the time you're watching this, I'll already be away on some much needed DNR, diving and relaxation. I'm starting my journey by heading north and stopping in Orlando in Georgia to visit friends. From there, I'm heading up to South Carolina to see my Red Devils take on the terrible Scousers. If you're going to be at the match, let me know. I'd be happy to say hello and grab a drink at the pub. And after the match, I'm heading straight over to the coast of North Carolina. North Carolina has always been on my bucket list of dives to get in, and I'll be there for the week. In that time, I'll be doing wreck diving with my main site that I want to see being the U-352, a German U-boat that was sunk just off the coast during World War II. Possibly even some Meg-tooth diving, just to compare how it is in North Carolina versus Venice, Florida. If you're in that area of North Carolina and want to dive or have an interesting site that you want to show me, all of my contact information is in the description below. Just let me know. I'd be happy to meet and dive with you guys, and I'm just looking forward to being able to kind of take in new sites and kind of recharge my batteries. I'll be on the road and I'll still be filming and getting video for content, but there may be a slight delay. Just be patient. The trip will be documented so that I can share my experiences with you. If you haven't already, please consider supporting the channel. Just dive down, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and ring that dive bell. And if you know of anyone who may get value from our content, then please share this video and or others with your friends, family, and dive buddies. And keep an eye out on our Facebook, Instagram, and our community tab here on YouTube for live updates while we're on the trip. We're almost to that 1,000 subscriber mark, so please help us get over that finish line. I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, plan your dive and dive your plan.